of others. Many different things that hold me in bondage. Some of the bonds are visible. I can see where there are the pulls of attachment and greed and anger. But some are subtle, invisible. And I don't know why it is that my mind holds on to bondages of pain and sorrow. Freedom is important. I want to be free. And letting myself think about it, the desire for freedom becomes more important and more of a priority than anything else. The desires that I had for fulfillment through my senses, or the desires for external achievement, fade into the background, and the motivation for real freedom becomes powerful. This one desire for freedom takes over. I pursue it. This is the most important thing for me. To taste the sweetness of the freedom of the spirit. In fact, it's not so difficult. All the other bondages were actually connected with the physical body and the physical world. And so, as I let go of the consciousness of the body, I also very easily let go of those bondages. The things out there are left out there. Nothing touches the spirit. I am free. In the awareness of the eternal being, with the power of the mind, I fly beyond the physical dimension and connect with the infinite. I am eternal. I am free.
Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's topic. Very appropriate as the last Thursday evening talk of the year. And so today's topic, letting go gracefully. And we will look at this topic experientially today with the aim to let go, release, and renew, and to move forward into 2026 with compassion. And so let's explore it a little bit for ourselves, and we'll try and make the session experiential. And so, as we reach the end of the year, there can be a lot of tiredness, and a lot may have happened, and we don't even sometimes really understand, what thoughts we're having as we bring the year to a close, and what may be stored in our subconscious and even in our body. That's creating that feeling of tiredness. And so they may have been great moments, but also feeling of regret or challenging work environment or relationships. So much could have happened. And as we bring one year to a close and we begin a new year, I think subconsciously we take stock. And it's always good to take stock, because if you take stock, you can begin the new year fully equipped, fully aware, so that I can make that change powerfully. And so today we won't aim to look with a stern eye, but with a graceful eye and an eye of compassion at the self, as we bring, understanding to letting go gracefully. And so, if you don't mind, I'll just get that bell. So yes, letting go gracefully, and and as we look at this aspect for ourselves today, like I mentioned, we won't try and fix and analyze like we do most of the year, but the aim is to just gently take this 1 hour to pause, to lay down 2025 so that I can move forward into 2026, with that renewed energy. And so, why do we feel it, quite difficult and hard to let go? And there may be many reasons. Some individuals, sorry, we just have some new individuals who have come to the center in Claremont, Cape Town. Yes, so this aspect of we don't wish that you uh, you feel that that we have to forget or give up, but how can I choose peace as I move forward? And so yes, letting go can be quite difficult for many individuals. Hello, welcome. So we have a Zoom room, and okay, it's good. And so letting go, yes, can be a little bit difficult for many. And it's important to also appreciate why letting go may be difficult. And I was just reflecting on a story that a friend shared with me. And I don't know if you all know Dadi Janki, but an amazing 104-year-old who was the head of this organization and who passed away in the year 2020. And she lived in London for about 50 years, where she started these meditation centers. And it was the seed of centers then in 120 countries across the world. But she used to drive, my friend used to drive her around, and she was a lady who really had everything. But whenever she would pick Daddy Janki in her car to take her to a talk, she would start complaining about some life event and start to find a problem. And yet she was an individual who lived, in the best part of London, studied for leisure, to improve her understanding, never needed to work, well taken care of by her family. And so Daddy Janki then told her, just stop it. You have the habit of being unhappy. And I love that story because sometimes, we don't realize how I am everything. I have everything. I've attained everything I need to, and yet we still feeling restless because we have this habit of being restless. Just today, somebody was sharing with me as well, how we worry because a good mother would worry about their child. And so the very interesting social norms that we incorporate into our lives that make no sense. But we just follow the race, of humanity, and sometimes in chaotic directions. But we nevertheless mindlessly follow. And so a good parent worries. And so when you meet others, you speak about your worries when really everyone's very capable. And so yes, so this aspect of why do I find it hard to let go? Because sometimes I'm quite attached to my story, my pain, my role. And so the aim of today is letting go gracefully. And so, can I also, let go of 2025 with that grace? Whatever's happened, it's brought benefit, and can I see it with that eye rather than the eye of the old, which may be to complain and uh, and stay attached to my pain, my story, because it gives me identity. And so sometimes people take identity from from these stories, and so it's the recurring record they keep playing over and over and over. And if you keep playing the same song, you're going to get the same music in your life. And it may not be the song that you want, and you could be complaining about it, but you just reliving it and reliving it. And we know in the mapping of the brain currently in neurology as well, they show how if you keep playing a certain story in your head, you strengthen those neural pathways and those neurotransmitters, and so the impact such that even certain areas of your brain are more developed, be it the pain centers or you know so I can make room for a bright future that I choose. And whilst 20, okay, I see the internet connection is freezing. I'll move a little so that we can see if it works better. And just let me know as well. Okay, so yeah, so how can we let go then gracefully, and without clinging on to the old, because it gives me some source of identity, and so and without that bitterness. Just this week as well, somebody was sharing with me a story of how they felt so sad and so hurt because their loved one was admitted, and they didn't know about it. And so I said, but why are you hurt and sad? Because they need your love and your compassion. But now you are feeling rejected and lonely and hurt and sad. And it's interesting how we react, hey? And the expectations we have. And so how often I can create unnecessary bitterness, that I hold on to, because I'm clingy, and can I just accept that, at the current time in humanity, people don't have the power, and they have many insecurities. And maybe the person who didn't tell her needs to be private and is a private person and doesn't need everyone to know their business. And so can I just respect their insecurities and surround them with love and peace rather than judgment and actually energy that doesn't help them in their healing, isn't it? And so yeah, and again, fashioned by societal expectations and norms, we just live our life following as others. And maybe you share the story with a friend and they would say, yes, how could they should not have, and they reinforce your sad story, and then you feel even more sadder about yourself, and poor me, woe is me. And yet I'm the master in my life. Eh? And so, what type of life do I want to choose? How do I want to live every moment? Powerfully, or a victim of how others treat me, what life did to me, and what the circumstances at work are, or in my extended family, and woe is me. But I'm a master. And so, how would a master choose to live their life? And so that importance of understanding and letting go gracefully. For me, I think that word understanding is so important. To understand and have mercy for yourself, but also to understand and have mercy for everyone with no expectations of anyone, because that expectations then just create hurt, and then I actually stop my own light from shining, isn't it? And so then I take what's outside and put it into me and forget about who I am, and I become somebody far removed from what I actually came here to do on earth, isn't it? And so this aspect of who am I, and just be who you are, just keep shining bright, because this is who I am, and I don't have to follow the trends of the world, but I can create my life and my trends that makes me uniquely me, and that can bring some light and joy into the world that's very depressed and struggling at this moment. And so yes, letting go gracefully, not ignoring what is happening, so not pretending or suppressing or erasing the pain, or denying what is happening, but understanding with mercy and compassion, not only what's happening outside, but even what's happening inside. So in my own inner world, the expectations I place on myself, um, and I think that's a bigger problem in humanity, the disheartenment that we move forward. Well, we don't move forward with, because you're not moving forward when you're disheartened. You're staying stuck and actually ruminating, and sometimes lost in the past, and again robbing the world and yourself of the light that you are, and that precious uh, energy you have to offer the world. And so letting go, is not suppressing or denying or pretending, but understanding, and also then with that understanding, making space and choosing kindness and trust, I had a lovely saying, and I thought it's so beautiful that trees do not apologize for dropping their leaves, but they trust the season. So it's beautiful, hey? So, so trees do not apologize for dropping their leaves, but they trust the season. And so in life, can I walk with time? you know, and with the season. And, there will be times where I drop my leaves. But even in that, there's benefit. There's this lovely story I heard of this lady who had a cracked vase, on her shelf. And another lady asked her, but why do you keep that? She says, she uses it to water the jasmine plant. And so every day she would fill that vase with water, and it would drip because it had a tiny crack, and and as it would drip, she would reach her jasmine plant, but it would never be full. But she'd water her jasmine plant, and with time, wherever the water fell, was a green path. And so how that vessel did its job. So to also with patience, can I appreciate that even the cracks create growth, So there may be cracks in my life, but it offers growth. And there's a Japanese art as well, where if a vase is broken, I forgot the name, but it's a beautiful art. So they will never, get rid of the vase. They would then, create the vase by filling in the broken pieces with gold. So that vase is even more valuable than before it was cracked. And so, isn't that true about life? There may have been many challenges this year, but each challenge, the lessons that you learn from it are like gold. And because of those lessons, you are more valuable, versus somebody who had no lessons, who hid away in their lonely apartment all by themselves, and they never grew because of that. Because, being with others, also we get polished so that we learn to be, more refined and the best of ourselves, like a polished diamond. And so, yeah, so letting go gracefully, to walk with time, to appreciate the lessons and the growth that may have taken, even though they seem to have been quite a cracked year, but they could have been, many lessons. And and so this aspect of letting go, and maybe I'll do a short reflective questions that you can hold in your mind as we go through. These will be four aspects that I would like you to look at what you could let go. Because, somebody just speaking, you forget. But if I can personally look at what I could let go of, so I'll guide you through four questions so that you could let go of four aspects. One will be control, self-blame, some unfinished business, and also an old version of myself. So I'll go through it quite swiftly, but in your mind, or if you want, you can take your pen and paper, or just in your mind, just reflect on the questions I'll ask you, so that from this short session we can also solidify for myself what I need to let go of. And so the first question is looking at letting go of what you cannot control. And so just you can close your eyes if you wish, or keep them open. But in your mind, just go back to 2025. And if you skim through the last 12 months, is there something that I feel I could not control? Maybe other people's choices, the systems I live or work within, any outcomes that did not match my efforts. And so just reflect on one aspect of control that I would like to leave behind in 2025. Because control can create huge stress. And what aspect of control can I leave behind? Thanks. And then the second one, like we shared about the tree and the leaves. So this is just for you. So just reflect. Self-blame. So letting go gracefully of self-blame. And just with that feeling, is there any regret over the last 12 months? Maybe some aspect of regret. And if there's any regret, regret is a very low functioning energy and keeps me stuck and lost. And so let me now choose to let go of that self blame and understand that you did your best with the information you had, with the energy you had. And so, with deep compassion, to let go of any aspect of self blame. And then the third one, and often, we also judge ourselves by finished business or our actions. So, what aspect of unfinished business can I let go of? Not everything must be resolved, and some things reach an end in their own time. So, any aspect over these 12 months where maybe you haven't finished a task, or maybe you're feeling the heaviness of a relationship or a situation, but with that deep compassion, let me understand that with patience, everything will be resolved and everything reaches its completion in its own time. As I dwell and ruminate, I only surround the situation or person with anxiety, and I worsen the situation or relationship. And then the fourth aspect, is there any aspect of myself, the old version of 2025, the old model of myself, that I wish to leave here in 2025? Maybe it's over functioning and constantly being the strong one, something that puts pressure on you. So, any old version of yourself that you wish to leave in 2025? Any old version attitude towards yourself, let alone attitudes of others, but yourself, from yourself? Which attitudes about myself can I leave behind in 2025? good to have taken stock of that. So thanks for journeying on that. A few thoughts have come. And remember that to really work with compassion as your bridge, because, this aspect of letting go requires compassion. So for me to let go, I also need to practice that deep compassion for the self, for others, and for situations. And so a few thoughts that could help with regard to compassion is that, that feeling. I know just today somebody was telling me how they don't know how to rest. So they just keep going and going and going, even beyond retirement age, but you never know how to stop. And so yes, this thought of compassion that I'm allowed to rest, and then and and the thought of self-compassion for others, sorry, of compassion for others. Remember, we shared, to understand the heaviness of the world, and that people are doing what they can, you know. So why do I have to have deep expectations? I only can control my life, not anyone else's life. And every time I have thoughts towards another about what they are doing or saying or being, then it's flowing into me first and hurting me first before, flowing out towards another. And so that compassion for others as well. And then compassion for life, to know that there were many gifts in this year and nothing.
Amen.
So absolutely nothing was wasted. And so that feeling that nothing was wasted. And so, yes, so can I hold that thought that this year was not wasted? And so, yes, this aspect of compassion, looking at what I can set down with grace, not trying to ferociously try and fix and sort out, but with grace to rest, to allow it to be laid down so that I can move forward into the new year. And another aspect, with regard to this is a short reflection on two aspects. And as you scan through 2025 again, can you just appreciate, like I shared that story of the cracked vase and our, that gold that gilds the vases that make them more valuable in Japan? Can you reflect on some deep lesson that you're moving forward with in 2026 from 2025? So if you scan the year, not too deeply, but superficially, is there some challenge that stood out? And how did you respond to it? Or what message did it bring you? So in 2025, there may be some aspect that stood out for you as a challenge, but you worked with it very powerfully, and to honor the gift that it brought you. So to reflect on that in 2025, as you skim through the year, can I appreciate the gift that a certain challenge brought me? And that is to take stock and honor that gift in my satchel for 2026. And another last reflection, just to reflect on maybe a relationship, could be with yourself, with another, but a relationship that brought deep shift, self-assurance that help you discover more about yourself? And what gift did that relationship bring? Because relationships are there to polish us, isn't it? So that we become, the perfect diamond, multifaceted. And so, so yeah, we're laughing in the room. So can I always see the one that's polishing the diamond as also a gift? And so, what gift do they bring me? So looking at 2025 and some relationship that strengthened me. It really emerged my deep inner strength because we get opportunities to learn our lessons by the people in our lives. Maybe I need to have deep self-worth. So somebody will always question my worth, or maybe I need to be humble. So life may break me to learn humility to then rise from a pure space. So it could be many relationships that are there to mold me into a stronger version of myself. And so taking stock of that as well, just note it down. So as we closing this year, we're just noting down things we want to let go and things that we've learned from the year. And now a last little practice. So a gentle practice to release what I'm ready to release in 2025. And so what I want you to do now in terms of a little exercise is think of one thing that I'm ready to release. One thing that I'm ready to release this year. And to even name it silently in your mind. Or if you're alone, you can shout it out so, so that you remember this moment. And now, if you could place it in the palm of your hand, so we can also do it in the room, just place that what you want to release in the palm of your hand. It's always nice to do the motion because it'll help you remember. So to place that in the palm of your hand, so place that which you wish to release in the palm of your hand, and then imagine loosening your grip slowly, slowly. And as you slowly release your grip, have that deep feeling that you are releasing that which does not serve you anymore, with that gratitude for what it brought into your life. And now, one thing you are taking forward as you walk into 2026. One aspect that you are going to take forward with you into 2026, an attitude, an intention, not someone or something, because those will perish, but one attitude or intention that will fashion 2026 for you with determination, some pure intention and attitude that you're going to carry into 2026. And to almost stamp it into your awareness that this is what you're going to carry into 2026. With that deep feeling that I am that master of my life, and this is what I'm going to choose. And nothing and no one can take this away from me. So thank you for that reflection as well. Yes, and so letting go of 2025 with grace, and the importance of letting go to make space, but to know that this year too was well spent, and it was a year that was very rich in growth, because as each year is going on, I think we're learning at such fast pace, but also, to understand that I create my world. I know after my morning meditation, I like to hold on to my attitude or my vision. And it's amazing how just hold on to a vision of what you want, and the power of that subtle that it begins to manifest physically in your life. And it's so wonderful when you can look back at life and see that every thought you've held has materialized. And so the power of that subtle. And so letting go, but also holding on to powerful attitudes, uh, pure intentions, for that experience of a beautiful life of your choosing. And so maybe we have a little bit more time. So if anyone has any questions or thoughts, please note it in the chat, or you can ask in the room and we can look at that. Oh, so Hemkala shared Kintsugi Kin Gold Sugi. So that's the name of the Japanese art. Okay, you know it. Yeah. Yeah, but you can look at it. Kintsugi Kin Gold Sugi. So that's wonderful. Yeah, amazing art. Any other questions or comments or thoughts that you would like to share? Mm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yes, yes. So very good question. So the question is, how do we heal from the past, and especially those memories? And I'm remembering again this Dadi Janki, because when I met her, and in those early years, she said, "I've never had a sad day in my life." And I thought, really? But if you read the book, she was physically abused, raped, so there were, not so nice things that happened to her. But she always used to tell us, clean your memory tracks. So the understanding is, as energy, the living energy that we are in this body, the soul or the spirit, uh, uh, you know, are our thoughts, our intellect, so our mind, intellect, but also our personality, and all of this is stored in memory. And then our memory serves as our subconscious, and it fuels our conscious thought thinking. And so even though you think you're not thinking, if you haven't done the cleaning, it is sailing your boat. you know and so like the iceberg, you can blow on it, but what guides it? It's the undercurrents, isn't it? The iceberg. So I need to do deep cleaning, so that those memory tracks can be healed. To be aware of the undercurrents that are operating in my life and where they're coming from, and to remove that weed by its root, not just snipping it and, like you said, just pretending and superficially, uh, you know, um, moving about under false pretenses, which is good as well, because we should sing and be resilient. But I also need to do the deep work within. So whilst we're very resilient, but we need to do the deep work within, to know what I need to understand and see with deep clarity and let go. So to shine a spotlight on it, not to pretend things didn't happen, but to know what happened, but how is it going to help me going forward? And then to, out of choice, let it go, because I want to. So that act of courage that we need to take. And then it might come again, but then I have to have an act of courage again and again, until one day you wake up and you think, hey, what happened to that thing? But it's because slowly but surely, with deep attention and regard for yourself, you chose to let it go. Because what another may do, or what life does, to me, I shouldn't allow to be the determinator of my future. I can rise above it, but out of choice, consciously. And then when you create new tracks, it will overwrite the old tracks. So then those memories get overwritten. So that's what happened to Dadi Janki. In her early 20s, she was physically abused, raped, but she became one of the most stable minds in the world, according to scientists, with EEGs, and she can't remember that. So in the 80s, I remember her saying, I've never had a single sad moment in my life, and I thought, really? But you had that happen to you, so how can you not be, so yeah, but she's really worked deeply to understand what is holding her back and what she wants to let go of, to choose life. And a life of service to humanity is what she chose. Yeah, so to be aware of your thoughts. Where are they going? Where's the root? Is it serving me? Do I want to carry this burden with me till my grave? Because we suffer not because of what happened, but because I choose to carry it with me. So things happen, and but do I carry it with me so that it burdens me, and I don't live the life that I was meant to live, And so, yeah, very valuable question. So, yeah, so that importance of that deep cleaning of old memories that don't serve you. And it's in my hands, I can't keep blaming and crying, because nobody's going to help you, really. The world is so burdened, they can't help themselves. Are they going to help you? So do it for yourself, isn't it? That's the reality, that we're living in. So yes, thank you. And another question, do you have any suggestion on how to stop those identitive thoughts that hold us in the same mental circle where we remember sad things of the past. Okay, yeah. So yeah, so like I shared, you know, the importance of awareness, you know, to see. So if I can be aware of my thoughts, you know, can I really see? So a mental check is very important. So reflection, you know, every day reflection. Somebody was telling me, you know, as before bed, and as soon as they wake up, they quickly start writing, you know, so that they can see how they're feeling, what happened, and what were the triggers. So they can begin to understand themselves deeper, so that they can choose to then let go of the patterns of thoughts. Because often we things are happening, but we're not seeing it. We just like carrying on like soldiers, you know, and because we're doing that, we're not living life with awareness, but like robots, no? And and so, and yet we are powerful thinking, feeling, in, you know, beings with the ability to judge and decide, you know, but we're not, because we just carrying on. But then there's a sadness creeping in, and so because of the heaviness of the thoughts that we're carrying, and so awareness of those thoughts, and and then understanding it to let it go. Yeah. And yeah, and then that determination and that regular insight into the self, not once off, you know. It doesn't happen overnight. It may take years, you know, but you know, but I need to do that work for myself. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just checking if there's any other questions. Okay, so I don't think there's any other questions. So I'd like to do a meditation then, so that we can end with some thoughts for the self, and stepping into that inner power of the self. So just to sit comfortably and relax, and allow your mind to follow the thoughts that I will share. And if your mind drifts away, it's okay. Remember compassion. And so that gentle attitude towards the self. And so as I'm seated here now, I invite you to become fully relaxed from the top of my head to the tips of my toes. If there's any tension, any tiredness and weariness, I let this drip down my body, down my feet, into the earth beneath me. And as I stand at the confluence of 2025 and 2026, I stand tall. And as I look back, every moment has been leading up to this moment. And this moment too is perfect, accurate. Maybe it didn't feel so perfect all through 2025, but it's accurate. And each step through the months, through the days of 2025 brought growth and many gifts in lessons, all helping me shine brighter. And I see all this energy concentrated, all the energy that I had accumulated, that light. I see all of that light and gifts as a little light in the center of my forehead. This living energy that I am, shining bright. I've learned many things this year. Trust, patience, respect, self-respect, harmony, unity, value, so much. And as I stand here just assimilating all that I had learned, I feel so wise, so grateful, as this valuable light. And I shine this light to every living light in the whole world, feeling such mercy, such compassion for the light that I am. And with deep love and gratitude, I encourage myself and every other light. There's no room for regret, but only hope and the dignity of the graceful being that I am becoming. And with all this grace, I step forward into 2026, knowing even if it brings more challenges, I have everything within me to meet every challenge. And I'm never alone. With one thought, as this energy, I can connect to an ocean of love and peace and courage and joy and wisdom and power. And as I take every step forward and I keep connecting, I know every moment will be filled with great power and gifts. Now gently I bring my awareness back here. And I become present. Thank you. Om Shanti. So have a blessed, lovely, festive period. You will receive our calendar when we'll do our next Thursday evening. But next Thursday evening, you will all be having a wonderful Christmas. So we will not trouble you with online sessions. So we'll keep you up to date on WhatsApp with our calendar. Thank you. And yes, and I guess this is the last one before the new year. So a happy new year, taking all your gifts with you from today's session. Good night. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raksha. Om Shanti. Looking forward to seeing you soon. It's Lakshmi. Have a blessed weekend. Seasonal greetings to you.
Thank you all.